Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Castillo. I'm one of the assistant band directors here at Stafford. I'm also the percussion instructor here. That song you just heard was called Infinity March. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Before we go into our second song, I just want to talk a little bit about the plaques that are up here. Those are our ratings that we received over our season of band here. And this concert band received a superior rating, so they received one of these plaques. So go ahead and give them a round of applause for that. The next song we're going to play for you is called Vulcan's Forge. Hope you enjoy. Again, that song you just heard was called Vulcan's Forge. I'd like to take a quick minute to thank all the administration that was involved in helping putting this stuff together, allowing us to have band every day. If you see any administrators and their principals, anybody else that teaches at Stafford, go ahead and give them a round of applause. Thank you. And ultimately, my last thanks would be going to the parents of Stafford. Thank you for allowing your students to be in band. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, parents. Before our last song, I'd like to take a quick minute to recognize a couple of outstanding students that have done excellent for the band program for the season of band as we wrap it up for our final moments of the school year. I'd like to recognize two people, one outstanding 7th grader and one 8th grader. As I call their names out, could you applaud them until they are finished receiving the medal and sit down? The first person I'd like to hand out for an outstanding 7th grader award would be Kimberly Mejia. And the final award I'll be giving out is our outstanding 8th grader. Our outstanding 8th grader for this year is Sohan Kawaja. Those are our two outstanding students for the year. Thank you. Go ahead and give them a round of applause. One more round of applause. Our final song for tonight is going to be called Rust Belt. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
good afternoon. Thank you for being here tonight. This is the symphonic band portion of the concert. This song was Fighting Falcon March, which was one of the pieces we played for UIL. This year, we got straight ones both on stage in the sight reading room, thanks to all their hard work and a really great performance. Please give them a round of applause for the work this year. I would also like to give out 2 outstanding student awards to one 7th grader and one 8th grader. These students have been very good musicians this year and also been very dedicated members to the program. When I say your name, please come up here. Tristan Flores and Jesus Guerrero. Come on. Thank you again for being here, and this next piece is called Night Fury. You'll see a few students up here with some medals around their necks. That is because this past Saturday, these students participated in solo and ensemble, and so if they have their medal on tonight, that means they got a first division rating that Saturday. We want to give them a round of applause for that. I'd like to take this time to also thank everyone that's here tonight and also everyone that's made this possible. Your unwavering support for the program, whether you're a parent, another student, a teacher, administrator, someone that's a part of the city. Thank you so much. Without you guys, we couldn't do what we do on the stage. I would also like to remind you, if your student is on stage, please come by the warm-up room down there where you drop them off to pick them up at the end of the concert. This last piece is called Carpathia. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you. I'm Mr. Wertz, and I'm the head middle school band director and the director of the honors band and high school symphonic band. That first piece was entitled As Spirit Soar. Our first two pieces we're performing tonight, we also performed at our UIL contest a few weeks ago. At UIL, this band received a superior rating on both our concert performance and in sight reading. Before we play our next piece, I would like to recognize our most outstanding 7th and 8th grader from Honors Band. These two students have consistently practiced throughout the year and have excelled at their instruments. Our most outstanding 7th grader is Ivana Chan. Come up here for your award. And our most outstanding 8th grader is Amaya Cooper. Yeah, please give them a round of applause. Our next piece will be Dance of the Garden Gnomes. Thank you. Most of the students you have seen on stage tonight also had our solo and ensemble competition this past Saturday. For solo and ensemble, these students had to perform a solo all by themselves for a judge. Students, if you made a first division at solo and ensemble, please stand to be recognized. On behalf of all the band directors, I would also like to thank our administration, our middle school principals, our school board, our band boosters, and the parents of all these students that have performed for you tonight. Without your support, we would not be the band program we are today. As a reminder, parents, please pick up your students after their performance, and if you're able, please stick around and listen to the high school bands perform. Finally, our last piece will be High Voltage.
High School Band Chair Secretary.
I am Carla Fuentes, the Vice President for the Parent Booster Band Club.
And she's a parent. So we wanted to come out and say thank you very, very much to everybody that helps out, participates, all the parents, the blood, sweat, and tears, because it's right. We have first aid kit right there. So everything that these kids have gone through, the band, directors, everybody, they are phenomenal. They are amazing. And we just want to give them a big thank you. To that, we conclude with scholarships. We have a list of mini adults, because they're not super adults yet, they're still babies to me. But we have $500 scholarships going out to the top 8, and then the top 2 we have after that we have $250 scholarships. We want to give a big thank you to Classic Chevrolet because they were able to sponsor as well the scholarship funds. And we want to present these scholarships to, you want to say? Please.
Okay, we're just gonna name the name of the students. Lindsay Paredes. Samuel Beltran. Zachary Richland, Emmanuel Arugodo, and I am so sorry if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly, Jacob Webster, Alondra Montes, Sanson Foucher, Mia Sarmiento, Moname Nawini, and Eduardo Silverio. Congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations to everybody. Hope you have a safe summer.
Thank you, parents.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. That was Activity March by Harold Bennett. At the UIL Concert and Sight Reading Contest, the Stafford High School Concert Band received an excellent rating on their stage performance, as it is superior rating on their sight reading performance. Please give them a round of applause. Our next tune will be Comet Ride by Brian Balmages. Please enjoy. Before we close out our portion of the program, I'd like to take a minute to recognize our seniors' commitment to the band program over these last 7 years. Seniors, when I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Anaya Bloodworth, Marcus Coates Jr., Giovanna Mendez, Brittany Oliva, Amy Robles, Yarlin Toledo, and Jade Wilson. Thank you again, and we're going to close our program tonight with Dragon Run by Chris Bernatas. Please enjoy.
Thank you. The piece we just played was entitled Dominion. The first two pieces we are performing tonight are both pieces we took to our UL contest, where we received an excellent rating on stage and a superior rating in sight reading. Our next piece will be Silver Sides. Before we play our final piece, I would like to recognize our seniors for their 7 years of hard work. Seniors, when I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Cameron Reed, Brianna Hernandez, Stanson Fauché, Austin Cole, Brianna Hinojosa, Caitlin Lopez, Braylon Washington, Nayeli Guerrero, Kamora Robinson, and Asia Howard. Please give them a round of applause. I would like to thank our administration, our high school principals, our school board, our band boosters, and the parents of all these students that have performed for you tonight. Please enjoy our final piece, Groovy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Rod Rodriguez, and I am the Fine Arts Director and Head Band Director here at Stafford. And that song we just played was Mesa Dances. It was one of our UIL pieces we played this year. The next two pieces will be two of the UIL pieces that we played this year at UIL. This band is our varsity band, and as you can see, all the awards up here are from all the high school bands and the middle school band, and the varsity band has earned sweepstakes this year, and that's 15 years straight that the varsity band has earned sweepstakes here in Stafford, and that is a great accomplishment. I'd like to thank all the parents and families here tonight that support the band program here in Stafford, all the administration, school board that help us every day in and out of the classroom. Thank my wife and my children for allowing me to do what I do every day and stay long hours at the band hall, sometimes sleeping overnight. But thank you for allowing me to do what I do and love what I do, and that's make music with these great kids up here on stage. So, without further ado, Life Eternal. I hope you enjoy. And that selection we just played was El Palomino Noble, one of our UIL pieces. Before we go on tonight, I'd like to take this time to announce the names of the seniors who are in the varsity band tonight. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath after doing something like that. So, as I call your name, seniors, if you would please stand. Emmanuel Ariwuru, Johnny Biamonte, Samuel Beltran, Joanne Fuentes. Don't cry. It's not our fault you forgot your music tonight. Alondra Montes, Manami Nawini, Lindsay Paredes, Zachary Reichling, Jacqueline Rivera, Natalia Rubio, Mia Hope Sarmiento, Eduardo Severo, Jacob Webster. These seniors have spent 7 years in this band program. They started in 6th grade, worked their way up, made it this year to the state marching championship, first time in Stafford's history, and so they are leaving a mark for this program. So with everything, there must be an end, but before the end, I hope they had a nice ride in our band program, and they had a nice ride this year, and so we're going to end with a piece called Ride.